Yes, good morning, guys, and welcome back to the current affairs class of Shaheen Group of Institution. As we are preparing for the CUET UG, and in my previous class, we have already discussed with the famous books of India and its authors. Okay, we have dealt with so many famous personalities and their autobiographies, their biographies, and the books which are written by the famous historians, freedom fighters, and famous authors, the personality who are famously known for their literary works. Yes. So today I have brought the one more interesting topic, which is related with the authors and books. Yes, in my previous class we have discussed with only Indian famous books and Indian authors, but today I am going to deal with the international authors and their books. Yes, so the 50 famous books, international famous books, as well as its authors. Okay, so when it comes to the factual current affairs, when it comes to general knowledge, knowing the authors or knowing their books is very important. And also what type of awards they have won for their literary achievements. Yes, so Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi ji, and your so many freedom fighters, Lal Bal Pal, Lala Lajpat Rai, Bipin Chandra Pal, and your Tilak also has written so many books. So based on their literary achievements, their works, they have also won the so many awards or titles. Okay, that those things are also we will discuss. We have already discussed when it comes to India's perspective, but today we are going to discuss purely based on the international authors and their books, and I will be giving you some of the basic information regarding those books and the authors. Okay, so without much delay, we will directly go for the today's topic, that is books and authors. So I have brought only those books and authors which are regularly coming in the exams, one or the other exams, not only in CUET, but I have collected all the informations from the different competitive exams, be it SSC. Most of the authors and books, uh, the questions or the facts I have collected from the SSC question papers, Staff Selection Committee. Okay, your CUT exam is quite similar or quite related with your SSC syllabus. Definitely, you can go through that. The entire syllabus of CUT is somewhere definitely correlating with your SSC exams. That's why I have gone through all the SSC and CJL papers, railways, RRBs, and UPSC, and some other state civil service exams also. Okay, so coming to the point that we'll discuss with only those kind of books which are popular and which have got the international awards, international or national awards. Okay, for that matter. Then these are the list of your books and these are the authors. I will explain what is what and what the importance of the authors as well. Okay, yes. So here uh, a passage to India, E.M. Foster. E.M. Foster, even in my previous class, I have gave you some of the information about E.M. Foster. Though he is from Europe, though he belongs to the France, yes, though he belongs to, he is called as Indo-France citizen, right? So, though he belongs to Europe, most of his literary achievements, most of his books consist of the one or the other facts about India, and he has shown very much keen interest for India, and most of his novels, dramas, stories, or his entire literary works are covering the India's facts. In fact, a passage to India. Here he has written some of the historical parts, He mentioned the sea route to India, the trade relation with India, and India's relation with all the other neighboring countries, especially how India has its relationship with European countries during the olden times. Okay, so this book is very, very important because you have seen this information in so many exams. And when it comes to the second one, Vikram Seth, A Suitable Boy. It is a very famous novel written by Vikram Seth, and this book is very famous internationally. This has become a part and parcel of the international syllabus. For example, the person who is pursuing the graduation or the post graduation in the English, then he or she has to study this novel compulsorily. Yes, then A Tale of Two Cities, Charles Dickens. Very, very important. This is very important. Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens, as we all know the importance of Charles Dickens, very famous writer, scientist, in fact, and a thinker and a philosopher. Charles Dickens has written so many books, n number of books. Among them, this is very important. A Tale of Two Cities. Clear? A Week with Gandhi. Louis Fisher. Okay, Louis Fisher. A Week with Gandhi. He is also very much a social thinker. Sorry. Okay. So Louis Fisher is a famous political thinker, philosopher, friend and guide, and he had spent a very beautiful time with the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi ji. So based on his time spent with Mahatma Gandhi, he has written a book called as A Week with Gandhi, and you can also look at this book in a in historical perspective. He has mentioned the Gandhi's philosophies, Gandhi's principles, Satya, Ahimsa, non-violence, truth, all these things are mentioned in this book, right? Then, Guide Maupassant. Yes, the Guide Maupassant, those who are preparing for MA, English, and those people will know the importance of this guy. Okay, he has written Women's Life, because Guy de Maupassant is a very famous international author, and his main areas are the social concepts. For example, women, children, poverty, unemployment, hunger, and unhygiene, slum, and beggars, farmers. All these are his favorite topics. So here also he has written a novel called as A Woman's Life. Then, yes, Adventure of Sherlock Holmes. So many movies, so many web series, so many serials, your pictures, dramas are performed on this book, this beautiful book, Sherlock Holmes. It is written by Arthur Conan Doyle. Arthur Conan Doyle is a very he is a different kind of writer. If I can tell you, he writes a novel based on crimes, based on suspicion things. Okay, so you can call him as a writer of what you can say. He writes mostly the stories related with the dacoits, the thieves, or murders, or very suspensive stories. All those are his favorite favorite topics. Yes. Then coming to Mark Twain. Mark Twain, a famous politician. Adventure of Tom Sawyer. Adventure of Tom Sawyer. This is not that important, but I have added this here because And I found Mark Twain can be um, quite important in upcoming exams. Okay, then Qazi Nasrul Islam. Qazi Nasrul Islam, a famous writer from Central Asia, and he has written Agni Veena. He has written Agni Veena, the importance of India, India's culture, tradition, dance form, music, and all. Everything is mentioned here. Then Alice in Wonderland. You can also see this in the form of movie. Yes, Alice in Wonderland is a movie, and so many serials are also coming on this story. Yes, it is written by Lewis Carroll. Then Leo Tolstoy, Anna Karenina. Leo Tolstoy is the famous books. So many books Leo Tolstoy has produced, which is there are so many books. No? The Anna Karenina is one among them, and it is very famous, and it has got its international importance because he has mentioned the importance of the woman in the field of economy, and how women should save the money, and how should women work in a family to protect the family and all. Rest, the Leo Tolstoy, a famous economist, a famous socialist, a famous thinker. Okay, then Shakespeare, no doubt. Shakespeare, name any kind of novel written by Shakespeare. Believe me, all the novels, dramas, poetries, prose, everything is important. I can mention only few novel here or few books written by Shakespeare here, but believe me, you must remember all the literary works written by William Shakespeare. He is a king of English literature, no doubt. He is a king of romance. He is a king of English poetry. Yes, no doubt. He is a king of entire literary world. No doubt in that. Right? So William Shakespeare has written so many. Antony, Cleopatra. It's a very beautiful drama, a love story. Then Sir Richard Burton, he is also famous writer, English writer from England, and he has written Arabian Nights, the series of stories, series of moral stories, Arabian Nights. Then, yes, Dante, Boccaccio, all those are, Dante is from Italy. He is a famous writer, he is a famous social thinker, political advisor, Dante Boccaccio. You all might have heard his name. Dante is from Italy. He has written a Divine Comedy, which is one of the famous masterpiece in the history of literature. Okay, Italy, Divine Comedy. Then Don Quixote, very suspensive and thrilling novel. Don Quixote. I have read this book. It is very suspensive and very hard to digest, very hard to understand. The language of Don Quixote is very strong and very difficult. It is written by the Miguel de Cervantes. Yes, he is also from Italy, right? So please do remember this, very important. Then Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's a name of a book. Okay, it's a story novel. It is written by Stevenson. For whom the bell tolls. For whom the bell tolls. Ernest Hemingway. All these are international famous authors. And whether it seems important for you or not, but please do remember, I have collected all these facts from your previous year's question paper. No doubt, these are very important. And please do remember, don't bother about whether you have heard the name of the author or you have heard the name of the books before. But believe me, these facts are one or the other way will be very much helpful for you. Yes. Then Freedom at Midnight. I usually recommend to my students to read a few books whenever they find some leisure time or whenever they are going for the vacations. Okay, so Freedom at Midnight is always a book which is recommended by me to my students. Yes, Freedom at Midnight. and I'll also mention one more book, that is Roses in December. So these two books are very much related with our freedom fighters, not the struggle during the Britishers. Yes, see Dominic Lapierre, the Laurin and Lapierre, two writers, they combined together, have written this book called as Freedom at Midnight. Very, very important. Then French Revolution, no doubt, Thomas Carlyle. Very repetitive question. French Revolution is written by Thomas Carlyle. Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill, very famous personality, the former president and a political advisor, philosopher, thinker, and a great writer as well. Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill, Gathering Storm. Okay, he has written a book called as Gathering Storm. Then Geetanjali, a famous writing, a famous book written by the writer of National Anthem, is none other than Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore has written so many books, and he's also written so many songs, poets, and anthems also. The India's national anthem and also the national anthem of the Bangladesh. Okay. Then glimpses of world history. Sorry, the glimpses of world history. Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay. The other day I have told you when we are discussing with the topics about the 60 famous books of India and their authors. So there also I have mentioned Jawaharlal Nehru. Please don't get confused here. 50 see, when it comes to the international authors and books, you can see few of the Indian authors here. The Vikram Seth, Rabindranath Tagore, Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, so few of the Indian authors also you can see here. I have mentioned, I have added names of India's famous personality here because these book, the book written by them, become an international icon. Those books become have got the international importance. That is why for me, when we are reading the famous international books, the books which have become very popular throughout the world, then I have thought mentioning the Indians books when it comes to international importance. So that is the reason why I have mentioned their books and their names as well. Okay, don't get confused. And in fact, the knowledge is coming wherever it is coming, it doesn't matter, right? Then yes, Jawaharlal Nehru, and Jawaharlal Nehru's autobiography also we have mentioned. Yes, Discovery of India. The Grammar of Politics, Harold Lasky. Yes, Harold Lasky, The Grammar of Politics, very important books for the political science students. Then Gulliver's Travel, Jonathan Swift. Jonathan Swift, she is a lady. She is a lady writer, and she is a very famous English dramatist. She writes a very beautiful stories, poets, prose, and dramas also. Jonathan Swift, she is from England. Gulliver's Travel, a very popular drama, very popular. There are so many movies on this also. Gulliver's Travel. Then Hamlet, once again, as I told you, Shakespeare, Hamlet, Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, and all these stories. Hamlet is very famous drama. Then Victor Hugo, Hunchback of Notre Dame. Hunchback of Notre Dame is a book written by Victor Hugo. Victor Hugo is also one of the famous author, international author. Then coming to the G.B. Shaw. G.B. Shaw has written Arms and the Men. Arms and the Men is also a famous drama story. G.B. Shaw is a famous author. George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw is a writer, thinker, and a political advisor and a politician. Around the World in 80 Days, Jules Verne. Jules Verne is also a famous author. I'll quickly finish this off because we don't have much time, because so many factual knowledge is there. The Arthashastra, Kautilya, Chanakya, right? Kautilya is also known as Chanakya. He has written Arthashastra. We have seen this in my previous class also. Avijnana Abhignana Shakuntalam. Abhignana Shakuntalam. Sometimes you can pronounce it as Avijnana, Abhignana. Okay, all these things can be, every pronunciation is well and good. Okay, it is written by Kalidas. Kalidas, as you all know, is a Shakespeare of India. He is called as Shakespeare of India. Then Ben Hur Lewis Wallace. Lewis Wallace is a famous writer, France. Okay, Ben Hur. Then China's Passage, John Kenneth Galbraith. Okay, all these are important. All these are very, very important even for the MA students, right? Then Comedy of Errors, William Shakespeare again. Communist Manifesto, Karl Marx, a very famous economist, sociologist. Karl Marx, he has written so many books. Communist Manifesto is very famous among them. Confessions, okay, Confessions. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, okay, Jean-Jacques Rousseau is from Russia. Confessions. Count of Monte Cristo, Alexander Dumas. Alexander Dumas is also written so many great dramas. So many great dramas. One among them is your Count of Monte Cristo, and Three Musketeers of Life is also written by Alexander Dumas. Okay. Then Crime and Punishment, Dostoevsky. Then again Das Kapital, Karl Marx. Very important and repeated question. David Copperfield, Charles Dickens again. Charles Dickens we have seen in previous slide. Then Iliad is by Homer. Iliad, Homer, very important this one. Invisible Man, H.G. Wells. In Search of Lost Times. In Search of Lost Times, Marcel Proust. Then Jungle Book, Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling, a very famous writer from the Europe, has written In Search of Lost Jungle Book. Yes. Then Kadambari, Bana Bhatta, historian. Yes, Bana Bhatta is a very historical, powerful writer. Kadambari. Yes, Bana Bhatta. Then King Lear. King Lear is also written by again Shakespeare. Very important personality, Shakespeare. Don't forget him. Then Les Miserables, Victor Hugo once again. Victor Hugo's all the books are very important because they are depicting the today's day-to-day's life stories, crime and the social evils, the harassment of women. All these are his favorite topics, right? Victor Hugo. Then Lolita, Vladimir Nabokov from Russia. Man and Superman, again George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw has written so many books, few among them this Arms and the Man and your Man and Superman. Okay, George Bernard Shaw. Then Madame Bovary, Gustave Flaubert. Then yes, Adolf Hitler, Mein Kampf. Adolf Hitler, Mein Kampf, very important. Then Maxim Gorky, Mother. Okay, Maxim Gorky, Mother. And believe me guys, these are the very quick facts we have covered. So many facts. We can read so many authors and books, but it is very hard to remember and hard to digest because apart from this factual knowledge, we also have to cover so many different subjects, so many different topics and all. But when it comes to hard work and when it comes to systematic or smart work, so smart work should always be your preference. Your first preference should be your smart work. Smart work is collect the information from the previous year question paper, collect the information from the standard books. Okay, from those information you just start reading those things repetitively. Other than these books and other than these authors, we have so many other authors and books available. We didn't cover so many books here. We didn't even cover so many authors. But whatever we have covered for the exams point of view. So many repetitive questions or the books or authors which are very much famous or favorites for the examiners. Only those kind of facts I have brought right in front of your screen. Okay. Other than these books and authors, we have so many. Imagine when we are studying the famous books of international importance, and their authors. Believe me, more than 1 lakh, more than 1 crore, for that matter, we have so many books, authors, their importance and all. But when we are preparing for the exam, we have to prepare very smartly the books and the authors which are very much important, which can be asked in the upcoming exams. Only those facts are here right in front of you. Okay, so we have dealt with the famous English books, famous international books and their authors, and in my previous class the famous Indian books and their authors. Okay, so when it comes to books and authors, we are winding up this topic in 2 classes. Very important class. Please do study about the books and authors very keenly. Okay, till then, keep preparing for your exam. In my next class, I will bring some of the new factual topics again. Okay, so be prepared for your exam. Till then, goodbye.